Hey everybody, long time since I have been on, so I wanted to give y'all an update on what I have been up to uh, in the past 7 months since I went silent um, as the recession started, and just to kind of give y'all a general idea of what I've been up to, how I did, why I went silent, and just to give y'all a general idea of what's going on. So, my last video was in February, right before the market effectively went down 50%. Um, so I was paying attention to Twitter and I kind of saw the things that were coming. And I said, okay, how is our market going to react? At that time, I was pretty defensive. I was in municipal bonds, I was in different government bonds, but I still had exposure to the stock market. So I had exposure to O and that type of thing. The reason I went silent is because I did not want to have other people, I wouldn't say copy me, but look at what I did and then take that as, oh, I should do the same thing because, there are tax implications to what I did. So I'll show you how I did in 2020 there. And you look at my portfolio, you might be asking, okay, so Dow's up 7.65 for the year, 16.69, and then of course NASDAQ ripped higher. Um, so, you know, here's what happened. So, if you notice in March, every other part of the market is down 18, 22, 24%, and then that kind of continues. And then all of a sudden, you notice in April, I'm up 5.44%, and then all of a sudden, I'm up 11.55%. And you see these little jumps. Well, the reason why I didn't have a channel at the time and call it a dividend investing channel, which is what I kind of thought my original goal would be, but I realized like very quickly I just can't have a channel like that. That buy these stocks, hold them, forget about it for 20 years. Um, what I did is effectively I hit the sell button on every single stock I owned, and the only thing I didn't hit the stock or the sell button on was my municipal bonds, and even those went down. And I'm just now starting to recover the losses on those, but those will come back. Actually, the dividends that these pay out every month have more than covered the losses. Um, so what happened? Like, what's going on? So when I saw the market tanking, I was down 11%. So the market tanked right here. That's March 23rd, I believe, or no, March 20th. And then between there and there, you see how it went back up? But even though it says 11%, my exposure to the market was extremely minimal. So right about here in this time frame, March 13th, March 20th, I hit the sell button on literally everything. And then I stayed out of the market for this part right here. And then I started to notice something. Whenever there was good news, all of a sudden you would kind of see these little waves. Okay, here's the good news. Okay, this is the good week. And then here's the bad news. Oh no, this is the bad week. So what I started to do is all of these dividend stocks that you see everybody push, which is basically what's on my screen right now, one week I would sell everything. And then the next week I would buy everything. So you might be asking, Paul, well, why is your net account value barely up? Well, what's going on there? So I'll show you what's going on in my handy dandy spreadsheet. So if I go to historical and I go up to this area, what I have been doing, you see my values went up dramatically, and then here's my totals. So here's February, right around when I posted my last video, kind of my total value, 50,000. Then I went down a little bit, and then I started to go up just dramatically as I started playing the waves. And I actually started recording this. So I started playing the waves, and then when they even gave me the stimulus check, I took that and deposited it. I started playing that in the market, and I went up dramatically. I even used, if you there's a huge drawdown in here. You see these areas in here, these drawdowns. I used the money to pay off some debt. I used the money to make huge improvements to my house. Um, just made a whole bunch of, just did a whole bunch of stuff to my house. Um, and what I did is I effectively, you know, was in and out of the market almost constantly. So I didn't see a need to make YouTube videos telling people that's what I was doing, because that would be kind of strange advice. One week you log on and I'm completely invested in the market. I'm fully invested, and I have a screen that looks like this. And then you come back to my channel by the time I post a video on, say, Friday, and then all of a sudden I'm out of the market completely. That would really, I would have some funny things in the comments if I was doing that, because everybody would be like, no, you should just hold, you should just hold. No, effectively what I was doing was buying and selling. I was basically just riding the gains and then selling before, and it was so predictable. It was just so predictable, because one week you would have news that would say, "Oh, the vaccine's on the way," so all of a sudden the market would shoot up by 10% or something, and then that very next Monday it would be like, "Oh no, it's bad news again." There you go. So I would buy on Monday and then sell on Friday. I wasn't doing calls or options or anything like that, or else I probably could have made way more. But trying to time that with options, some people either made a lot of money if you caught the right cycle, or some people really lost a lot of money. Um, but now that some time has passed and the market is kind of normalized, I guess for the better part, um, I'm back into more of a just basically buy and hold pattern. And then also, if you notice, compared to my last videos, let me get my net assets up here. Oh no. So if you look at the assets, I'm now 90% in stocks and 10% in bonds. And if you look at my municipals, where I previously had a large sum of money, I've drawn down all of that. So they're still giving me tax-free income, but majority of my money is invested in where you would think it would be. Where I do wish I had made a video, probably to give a few people a few tips on where to put money, just as a guess, was when I bought into Discover Financial. I made a stupid amount playing this stock. Effectively, this was one of the stocks that moved the most with the good and the bad news. I bought in and sold out of the stock so many times before I decided to just hold it. Once I got it at 49 and I actually saw it was going up, because I was playing it when it went down, I think into the $36 range. It went down, then it went back up, then it went down, then it went back up. And then once I actually realized that it was going back up and it was going to stay going back up after the stimulus and all that got into the economy, I actually just bought it and held it. And now it's at 97. It's actually my best performing stock. So that one's definitely paid off. JP Morgan is another one. Disney is another one that I had. I bought that when it went all the way down to like 87. I rode that all the way up to 127, 134, something like that before I sold it, because it just doesn't have a dividend, so I just didn't see a point to it. I might buy back into it later on. Um, yeah, there's just a few of these that I just bought into, just held them after I saw that they were going back up. Um, so J&J is one of those. Caterpillar's another one. I knew that this company wasn't going out of business. It's ridiculous. I got it at 135. It's 194. Home Depot was another one where I got into it. This is actually just a dividend that paid out, but I got into it at some just stupid low price, like 200. I sold out of it at like 270. I had like 20 shares. I made money on that. And then I just took the money and I just put it to work. So you can see right here is the drop, and then, just made a lot. If I delete these two right here from where I withdrew some funds to just do improvements around my house, I made $17,000 in the market. Um, just depositing little bits from my checks that I got. The stimulus checks, I deposited those. Um, and just putting it into the market and just trying to just make make a bank off of it. Um, so I decided to put my YouTube videos back up and then take them off of private and then put everything public again so that everybody can kind of see what I've been up to. Just to let everybody know that you're going to see some videos from me again. Um, right now I'm in buying. Right now I'm in effectively holding mode at the moment. Um, there's one stock I am holding, VTRS. This should start paying a dividend very soon. And they're going to post earnings pretty soon. This one should probably go up by a lot. There's another one I made a lot of money off. I normally never touch tech stocks. I made a lot of money off of Palantir too. I bought into that at $11. I thought I got screwed on it, and then it went up to like 20 or something, 30 or it was crazy. I got out of that. That was another one that I messed around with. I was just playing with to see if I wanted to do any of that tech game stuff. But yeah, just back in the market now, and just looking at just different things I could have done. I think, given that last year was just a massive recession, outperforming the Dow and outperforming the S&P, and then coming in 26%. I think I did pretty good. But there's no way I can make YouTube videos where I was just like, okay, because by the time I make the video, everything would be sold. And then I would have to like maintain a Twitter to let you guys know, hey, I'm about to sell my entire portfolio again, or hey, I'm about to buy my entire portfolio again. That would have just been insane. I didn't see a point. Um, maybe by the next time I'm like a millionaire or something in the next recession or something, I could just like not care and just let it sit there. But you know, when I have a lot of my money invested in the market, if I see it starting to go down, I'm not just gonna ride it out and hope it goes back up because you never know what was gonna happen. So yeah, um, if you have any questions, leave a comment in the the little section down there. If you see anything that you think I should buy or something else. One other thing I had is kind of one of my goals is I did this div per one share. So basically, my goal is to basically get these numbers up so that every time that I get a dividend pays out, basically every time that a dividend pays out, it buys me one share of the company. That's kind of what I had with municipal bonds, honestly. That's why I withdrew a lot of money on. I had a lot of money sitting in here that I withdrew, and I've just been distributing it through here. And so, whenever Biden sends me his, that money, I might put it somewhere, maybe 3M or something, Southern Company. Um, we're just in that cycle again where, we're just kind of coming out of a recession. Vaccines starting to get distributed. We're starting to get back into that mode where the market's getting overvalued, so you can kind of see what's coming. You can expect utilities to start rallying. That's just what they do. Um, there's some other stocks I could look at, but I prefer stocks with dividends, honestly. Um, so, yeah, like I said, leave me a comment if you think my strategy was horrible or if you think it was smart or whatever. But I don't know. I think it was relatively smart. I ended up 25% for the year, and I made massive improvements to my house that needed to get done. So, yeah, just let me know. And thank you so much for listening.